and welcome to Wednesday morning's live stroll with Azra. He's currently 19 degrees at the moment, so very, very mild. It's supposed to get up to about 30, early 30s again today, so it's going to be another hot one. But it's what it is, isn't it, unfortunately? It's going to be cooler next week. It is British summertime after all, isn't it, guys? So shouldn't moan too much, but nothing's in moderation. What's everybody's plans for today? Is it a normal work day, school day? For me, it's just a normal work day. James is actually doing work experience at Julie's place and he's absolutely loving it. He actually said to me, I thought you said to me work was hard. Those are the words. And I said to him, not everywhere it's like that, James. So yeah, he's very much enjoying himself, doing what he's doing. So yeah, you never know. He might have a future in that. Maybe we'll have to go to Marks and Spencer's one night this week. I'm going to hopefully try and go tonight. I'm going to speak to Julia later. She wants to come. Purely and simply, Azra. Right, lead on. And we've got people watching, okay. I'm hoping it said I'd lost the signal, so okay, well, it looks like we're all right. Okay, let's carry on. Morning to everyone connecting up. As was. Azra, come on, this way. You know the route. Hi from Florida. Oh, haven't we spoken before? I can't remember. But I'm going to be in Florida in just over 2 months' time. And then again next year, and I cannot wait. I've been before, but not for many, many years. And I don't think, apart from New York, I've been as excited for a holiday as I am. We've got so much booked to do. And of course you've got to have a bit of rest as well, clearly, but you know, it's going to be one of those holidays that hopefully will be very memorable. It's our 20-year wedding anniversary this year, so that's why we'll be coming, just myself and my wife. And then next year we'll be coming with my son. So yeah, it's quite interesting to speak to someone from Florida. I understand the heat out there at the minute is really, really hot and stifling. I watch a lot of vloggers and they're all saying the same thing when they're on there. And then you get your traditional thunderstorm in the afternoon, cools down, sun comes back out, warms back up again. Yes, it is the UK, yeah. We're near Cambridge in the UK, giving you an idea if you look at the map. We're just south, of Cambridge. Where in Florida are you based? If you haven't been with me before, you'll know. Sorry, if you have been with me before, you'll know the route we do. If you haven't, we're sort of meandering our way towards the fields. And making our way back around the village. Now, I didn't think we were much early this morning. I'll show you a better sunrise picture in a minute when we get onto the field, which is a bit more open. South Florida, okay, I've just seen that come through. Sorry, I missed that. So obviously, I say obviously because it's not obvious at all. We'll be coming to Orlando. But I would like to do more of Florida, and it may not be possible on the next two visits, just purely and simply because of what we're intending on doing. But I do watch a lot of vloggers that sort of come into Miami and they sort of drive up and do stuff along the way, and very appealing. I actually heard the 5 o'clock church bell from home this morning. Very rarely do you hear that. What wind there is must be pulling it in a direction. Had to have the old had to have Azra, come this way. Good girl. Morning. Come on, lead on. I can't remember what I was about to say mid-sentence. So I saw that dog coming at the last second. And it was actually noisier than Azra for a change. It's too hot for that nonsense this morning, guys. And here we are. Now, a plan of action. Azra will probably decide to do a business in a minute, as she does every morning in exactly the same place. So we'll see how long that takes. She's thinking about it, guys. Yeah, I mean, we're not actually staying in Orlando, obviously. I've not been there for many years, so I'm expecting it to have changed. Although saying that, as I've said before, I've watched lots of vlogs, and I'm one of these people that tries to do a lot of research before I go anywhere. Right, Ezra's now going to the loo, so I'll sort that out. I've got my trusty bags out. I'm one of these sorts of people that does do a lot of research. Hi to Angie as well, and obviously we're going to be staying on International Drive. Are you right there, Azra? Are you all right there? Got an itch? At one of the Rosens, so it's a base really. I don't think we'll actually be going into Orlando as such. Go on, lead on. Although next year, because there's definitely nothing to do this year because I've had a look already, I would like to go to an Orlando soccer match with Julie and James, if I can. She is a cute dog, Angie. She doesn't always play for the camera though. No, she is a very, very good girl. And she is the star of the show as well. I just narrate for her. That's her second wee over here. How do dogs have so much wee in their tanks? I don't know. I really don't know. Come on, lead on. Good girl. So I just said I'd show you the very early sunrise. And that's what we've got. Yeah, I mean, I always hear that about Miami. Oh, that's a bit better. Just caught a bit better angle. Mm-hmm. We'll have better ones about further on. Yeah, I know this about Miami, and someone said you will never go to a busy airport than Miami. So I think if I was going to do that, I'd have to psych myself up, and maybe it would just have to be one of those holidays that it was completely theme park free, and it was just sort of a little bit of a have a plan, but spontaneous along the way as well. I've got no problem driving. I've driven out there before. I didn't drive in New York, and I'm pleased I certainly didn't do that. I drove in Las Vegas, and I have driven in Florida before as well, so I've got no problem doing any of that. Although I say all this, the last time we were in Florida, guys, 2008. So it was a long, long time ago, but a lot hasn't changed. You know, the places where, if you like, the tourists go, yeah, there might be different things there. But so we've got booked this year. We're doing Halloween Horror Nights. We're doing Icon Park, which is we're doing Madame Two Swords and a Will. We've got Seawell booked. We've got Discovery Cove booked for our wedding anniversary, and the swim with the dolphins. We're also going to Florida Wild or Wild Florida, I can't remember which way it is round, doing the airboat ride there. And we're only there from the Saturday to the Saturday, so we've got a couple of sort of easier days. You know, whether we go to Aquatica or whether we just sort of stay around the pool, I don't know. I'd quite fancy doing Aquatica, actually. Never done that. It's very close to our hotel, actually, as is SeaWorld, as is Discovery Cove, so none of that is a million miles away. And also Universal is only the other sort of end of the main sort of National Drive. We're sort of the SeaWorld end. Universal's not a million miles away, and we might even get a car, an Uber in when we go into Universal, so we don't have to pay the parking, although I do know it's free after 6 o'clock as well, and that sort of stuff. It's just if you want to have a drink. Nice to have. Certainly on our wedding anniversary, we booked for the Hard Rock Cafe. Oh, we have got a couple of other things booked in the Hard Rock Cafe. We've also booked in the Grand Helios for a meal at the top of that restaurant at the top there. Now, that was quite a lastminute.com sort of thing, actually. Someone's actually left some poo bags on there. Now, that tells me that there's still a big problem over here with people not clearing up after their dogs. Drives me nuts as a dog owner. Anyway, it's a very, very exciting now, Florida holiday. And I cannot wait. There will be a proper sort of vlog coming out, and I'll detail it a little bit more as to what we're going to be doing. I've got sort of an itinerary is done. Now, obviously, I'm not a weirdo. I do understand that these things can change. Some of the bookings, obviously, that we've made can't change, but things around it, can. And as such, it's fairly, God, lead on. It's, you know, it would be fairly sort of loose and fluid, should it need to be changed. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much set in stone, to be fair. What we're going to be doing when we're going to be doing it. I was very conscious of sort of trying to leave most of the evening sort of reasonably free, but again, even that sort of hasn't, when I say it hasn't gone to plan, we've got, I think there's 3 nights out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that we've got something booked. The rest of it is a little bit spontaneous, which is obviously how you want it. Again, I've got a couple of restaurants other than where we've booked I want to go. So, yeah, go on, lead on. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? But all will be revealed. That'll be Azra. Come on. All will be revealed on that travel vlog, which will be coming up nearer the time, sort of in September. There's absolutely zero point doing it now, because by the time it comes around, people will have forgotten all about it. And what's important on YouTube, especially, is to keep your footing on the algorithm. And this is why I do these lives a few times a week. Obviously, there's shorts coming out every day. Because I'm not one of these people that sort of vlogs every single day. You know, I don't have the time, you know, and unless you've got loads and loads of content and you're going out every single day, more for retired people. And I say that loosely because I know a lot of people treat YouTube like their business. But sort of the vloggers I watch that are able to sort of put something on every single day, in most cases, are people that aren't working. Retired, for example. Come on, Azra. Come on, lead on. Retired people, I mean. Or they've got thousands of subscribers and almost YouTube is their business, is their job. You know, so we're going to get an amazing sunrise when we make the turn, guys. What have we got here? It's about, I think it's about 7 hours to Orlando International from sort of Heathrow or Gatwick. Roughly 7 to 8 hours. So it's a decent flight. I always say, if you're fortunate enough to be able to experience this stuff, and you're fit and healthy enough and all that sort of stuff, do it. Because it doesn't matter how much money you've got, you can't buy your health. And that is the facts. So if you're able to, one day, do it. Best time to come to the UK, well, it's one of those funny things, isn't it? It depends what you want out of it. If you're obviously from Florida and you're used to that weather, then maybe sort of June through to September is sort of pleasant temperatures. Obviously not right now in the midst of a heat wave, but you would be used to that anyway. But of course there's nothing like walking around London with the Christmas lights and stuff like that either. So yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Depends when you want to come. There we go, we're walking directly into the sun. Right, I'll put the camera up a bit so you can see that. Obviously I live here, so I can go anytime. In fact, I've got a I'm going up to London, down to London from here, sorry, down to London in a few weeks' time on a weekend. I don't know how much I'll be vlogging. I'm going to take the camera, but I don't know how much I'm going to be vlogging. I've done quite a lot of it before, but it's quite nice to freshen it up every so often. So I might take the camera. Again, we'll wait and see on that. But if I don't, at some stage before the end of the year, I think I will definitely go out to London, whether Julia and James come or whether I just get on the train early and go and have a walk around. Don't know, but whatever. We will certainly do that. But I'm hoping to combine it when I go in a few weeks' time. A lot of that reason is because I'll have my brother and niece with us. They live abroad, and I know they won't want to be on YouTube, especially, you know. So it's one of those, isn't it? I can be creative with filming as much as I can. We'll see. Anyway, that's a problem for a few weeks' time. Go on, Azra. Good girl. It's been quite a nice, relaxing stroll this morning, actually. So, thank you for joining, by the way. I don't know if you're still on, because I've only just seen that comment. But we are out 5 times a week, and we do live strolls around the village. And we have a chat about everything and nothing. Whatever people sort of want to have a chat about on the chat box, we sort of you know, follow the lead, as long as it's sensible and not political, that sort of stuff. We sort of follow people's leads, really. And then obviously the channel expands when we do sort of days out, travel, that sort of stuff. But the sort of the main bread and butter is the live strolls with Azra. She is the main protagonist, so I just narrate for her. 100%, yeah, I'm just reading that last comment as well. Yeah, absolutely. Changing of the guard, you know, they are trained guards, and they have to get to a very high sort of standard to get to where they are with the Royal Guards. And funnily enough, one of my customers was actually at the celebration. One of her grandson was one of the Royal Guards at the Horses Parade for the King's official birthday. Come on, Azra. A couple of weeks ago, and it was really, really hot that weekend, and they were telling me all about it. They still have to be sort of all kitted up and everything else, you know. You don't get any respite. That's why you see some of them fainting. Not loads, but you see some of them fainting because it is just so hot with all that stuff on. You know, we walk around in shorts and a t-shirt. They're fully garmented up. And this is another picture of the beautiful sunrise. Yeah, this is sort of the outside of our village, really. So it would, you know, it is big and it seems big, but of course we're only doing a perimeter of the village. You'll see, we're now sort of making our way back, sort of into the village now. We've sort of gone one way out, round, and then coming back in again. So gives you an idea. But someone actually said to me once, "Oh, is this all your land?" No. They are farmers' fields that allow the public through, and hence the paths and everything else. So. But yeah, no, we're heading now back into the main village. as I say, I get particularly warm when I'm doing these lives, because I have to, though I've got t-shirt and shorts, I have to put my very, very lightweight gilet on because it helps to hold the camera up. And if I can ever do a sort of behind the scenes, you'd see exactly what I mean, because if I didn't, the weight of the camera would sort of pull down on the harness. So yeah, I always have to have something on. I still say they should have had a sort of strap on the top of the harness that sort of went over your head or your shoulder and sort of clipped in behind, and it sort of pulls it back by itself. That'd be a very good idea. And then I wouldn't need a gilet. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, at the minute, as I said earlier, it's between 15 and 20. So she'll have a drink when we get home, but I wouldn't want to be out anything over sort of 25, really. I think the paths get too hot for the dog. I guess so when they're not used to it, and this is what people need to remember sometimes in the UK. Humans obviously can say that they're not feeling well, animals can't, and as such they will struggle. Azra's horsey friend is here. She's not really looking at it, to be honest with you, but her horsey friends are here this morning. Come on, Azra, if you're not interested. We did a live stroll. Absolutely right, yeah. We do, I did a live, on a bank holiday Monday, beginning of May, or end of May, And it was the first time we'd done Railway Club. And for one of the first times I took a bottle of water with us, because I didn't know what the train was going to be like and everything else. But usually the time of days we're out, we don't really need it, to be honest with you, until we get home, or she doesn't. And obviously I have a drink anyway, so. But yeah, it's a very valid point. And I think I put a little post out on the community page of the page a few weeks ago about this, about making sure your animal is kept cool and hydrated as much as you can on strolls and also at home. You hear such horror stories, don't you, about pets being left in cars, and people think, oh well, I've left the window slightly down, that'll be enough. It's not enough, especially when it's super hot. Some people just don't deserve to have animals. That's my take on it. You should be responsible enough that you don't do silly things like that, and you don't deserve to have a pet if you can't look after it properly. And that may sound brutal, but your animal doesn't get more than one chance if it's beginning to overheat and then obviously suffocate and then dies in your car. So why should a pet owner who's irresponsible get another chance? Just my take. I think a lot of pet owners and sensible people would absolutely agree with that. Just making sure everything was still well with the live. It is, so we're all good. Just bear with me, guys. I'm just looking for the doggy bags. Where the hell they've gone? Oh, I've dropped them there. Azra. And I thought that's what happened. That could have been embarrassing. Yeah, I was saying this earlier on, I think when we were speaking about the heat in Florida. As I say, I do watch a few vloggers that live there, and they've been saying it's been particularly hot. I've been there, I think in 1998, showing my age now, isn't it really, for July the 4th, and I remember it being super hot for July the 4th. Now, this year we were out sort of in September, but next year we go out in mid-July. So, I know when we go in July, and I've warned the family that it is going to be super hot. As I've said, I've been very lucky to have travelled, and I've experienced some pretty intense heat around the world. But I believe when we were there in '98, they had the sort of real, sort of bright, bushfires going on because of the extreme heat. And the humidity. Yeah, I can cope with 80s and 90s, but I think more it's the humidity, like it is sort of here at times. The humidity can smack you in the face, it really can. Like heat, 80, 90, yes, that's hot, of course it is. But it's the humidity, I think, that does you in, and that's obviously why you get your traditional storms every afternoon, because of it. Anyway, one should never moan about being able to come on holiday, because a lot of people don't get the chance. So you just deal with it. But next year is going to be the harder one because of the theme parks. Obviously we're doing a couple this year, but nothing too strenuous. Well, I don't know, Halloween Horror Nights, is that going to be stressful? I don't know. Wait and see, won't we? Never done it before. I'm not a scary movie person. I'm looking forward to the scare zones a lot. And then the scare houses. Don't know if they've all been announced now. Maybe. We're hiding behind Julia, because I am a bit of a scaredy cat. Yeah, and I think it varies, doesn't it? I mean, we were in Egypt a few years ago, and I genuinely don't think I've ever experienced humidity like it. I don't ever remember America quite being like that, but it was hot in Orlando for sure. Right. Does it vary where you are? In other words, if you're sort of South Florida, obviously I've no idea, let's say Miami direction, does it vary from there up to Orlando, the weather, or is it pretty sort of stable from that point of view? What you're getting there is the same. I know obviously further north it may not be. What was it, a 4 hour drive from Miami to Orlando? Something like that, isn't it? I love coming out at this time in the morning. It is the most peaceful time to come out. But when you've got a camera harness on, people do look at you a little bit strange. I don't care. I think people think you're up to no good, is my point. But I've been doing it for over a year now, these lives. And I said to Julia, if you ever see anything on the local Facebook page, let me know. Has anyone seen that weirdo walking around early in the morning with a camera on? Anything like that? Because I would like to respond if it ever happened. Anyway, so when we went up to London, we did a London vlog. Went on for about an hour and 45 minutes once I'd done all the editing. It was quite a good one. So if you are still on Florida Boy and that is something that interests you, I can't remember exactly how far back it is. It was 2025. Just go back through my videos on the channel and you'll see Buckingham Palace, the Mall, Trafalgar Square, Leicester Square, Downing Street, Big Ben. It's all on there, and I walked all of it. But because you're in a city that, you know, is very famous for many things, but one of it is obviously tourism, people don't look at you strangely when you've got a camera because they think you're a tourist. I fitted in really well. It was great. More of the sunrise. However, guys, I am sweating a lot now, and this is because I got this gilet on, which then pushes the harness towards my body, and it's actually quite sticky. So I will be looking forward to getting home, which will be home probably in about the next 10 to 15 minutes, roughly. Yes, is the answer to that. London is the capital of the UK, England. Obviously, Wales has its own capital, Scotland has its own capital, Northern Ireland has its own capital, but London is the main capital and where all the decisions are made for England predominantly. Although if the new Prime Minister apparently has his way, some of that's going to be moved up north. Who knows? Who knows if he's even going to be Prime Minister? Looks like it, doesn't it? Go on, Azra, lead on. Good girl. So in regards to lives for the rest of the week, guys, I'll be on Friday, Saturday and Sunday for the rest of this week. Nothing tomorrow. Thursday is my day off day. Don't do anything with the channel on a Thursday. Obviously there's all the content ready to go, loaded up, all that sort of stuff. Content-wise, although it's not all on the channel ready, I'm actually up to mid-September. If I was to unleash everything, I'm up to mid-September now, which is good because obviously we've got holidays coming up in August. Obviously the holiday that I've been talking to you about in September. So as such, I'm not going to have loads of time to be doing loads of content, so I'm getting ahead with stuff as much as I can, because I've already said in August I am going to be taking the month off from YouTube. Doesn't mean the channel will lay dormant, as I say, because there'll be stuff on there, and where we're going on holiday I'll be doing lives and stuff like that, and some travel vlogs. One travel vlog I'm very excited around, or vlog, not so much travel vlog, day out vlog, we're going to watch Liverpool versus Monaco at Liverpool's Stadium of Anfield. James has never been inside, and he can't wait. He's very excited. So we're going to do a proper... Azra, it's a bird. James is very excited about that. So that's just one thing. There's loads coming up, guys. But the big one is obviously Orlando later on in the year, or Florida, whichever you want to say. Right, ladies and gentlemen, another couple of minutes, we'll be drawing this to a conclusion. So it's been fabulous having a chat with people this morning. I'm confident I've spoken to you before, Florida boy. I'm confident of it because I got quite excited the last time I spoke to you. I'm sure it was you, or if it wasn't, it was someone with a similar tag, because I was telling you about coming later on in the year. So if it wasn't you, I'm sorry. Do like and subscribe, it does mean a lot to the channel. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, have a fabulous day, whatever you're up to. We're back on Friday. Cheers, guys. Have a good day.